Hi, my name is Colbert, and on Steam you can try a demo version of every game in this list. Let's start with Planet of Lana, a really beautiful platformer with hundreds of tiny details that make it pop out of the other similar projects. Here, a planet that used to be a place of undisturbed balance between human nature and animal now has become something else entirely. The disharmony that had been in the making for hundreds of years has finally arrived in the form of faceless army. But this is not a story about war. This is a story about a vibrant, beautiful planet and the journey to keep it that way. The game looks like someone crossbred Miyazaki's movies with Star Wars, and that is never a bad thing. Dark and darker. The game reminds me of the first Diablo if it was made in 3D and you could play it from the first-person perspective. Well, mostly because of the atmosphere. After all, it is a game to play with other people. Here you'll team up with friends and assemble a party to increase your chances of survival. Choose from the wide array of fantasy roles and build a perfect 3-person squad. You will explore a mystical underground fortress where the dangers are unrelenting and even the smallest misstep can result in death. Well, then let's be fair, you will be dying over and over again. Looks like a fun game, and if you like friends, they have a Discord. You can find it on the Steam page and embark on an unforgettable adventure. Or, you know, forgettable after an hour or so. Sons of Valhalla. Again, no Boobhalla for us, just simple Valhalla like always. Anyway, the game combines side-scrolling combat with base-building strategy in a beautiful pixel art Viking world. You play as Thorald Olafsson, a warrior hellbent on tracking down the Jarl who burned down his home, stole his beloved, ate his potato salad and fled to distant England, a land of pussies.
According to brave Thorald.
Although you cannot achieve victory in these unfamiliar lands alone. For that you will need a warband and a fortress from which you can launch your search efforts and conquests. Build and strengthen your stronghold to generate resources while personally leading your warriors in combat to take on your enemies and lay siege to their puny, pathetic settlements. Plan B Terraform. Well, the name of the game suggests that we ruined the Earth already and we need another planet to live. You know what is a good thing? Our galaxy is filled with planets. Hundreds of billions of them fly all over the place, and if we can remake them to look more like the Earth, we don't really need our planet anymore. You know how they say, we have only one Earth. Yeah, but that's only until we can terraform the shit out of other space rocks. And Plan B Terraform is all about that. Return. I saw this game on Twitter a few weeks ago and I was kinda impressed by this pixel art style. Return looks like a nice platformer combat shooter game in the making. So here you left the planet 200 years ago in search for a new life on the colonies. Now you've returned against your will and must fight to survive in the post-apocalyptic world you once called home. Well, a little terraformation would help, but that sadly is a different game. So here, as you explore the world, you will encounter difficult enemies and bosses. Slaying them can reward you with money, parts for your ship and mysterious treasures. Also, I like many layers of the background here. It creates great sense of depth, but those background layers are very static and adding some life to them would help immensely. Darkest Dungeon 2. The game was released a long time ago, but only on Epic Store, so you may have missed it, especially if Steam is your main store to go. Anyway, now you can try the game absolutely free and see by yourself if it is better than the first part. To say the least, the reviews on Metacritic are not very promising. It has 6 positive reviews, 2 mixed and 26 negative ones. And you may think that most of them are left by whiners who are crying about Epic Store, but no, only a few of them are like that. Other players are genuinely disappointed in the actual game. But as we all know, why Steam reviews are better than Metacritic reviews? Because on Steam you have to actually play the game to write a review, and on Metacritic you can write anything anywhere without even playing the game. So I suggest you download the demo and make your own decision. The Great War Western Front. I played the game last week. I was given early access by the publisher, and I can say that I was expecting it to be more like Command & Conquer, but it's nothing like that. It's more like a civilization game with, it seems, total war-inspired battles and absolutely overcomplicated RTS battle mechanics. Tutorial alone took me more than an hour to complete, and as you can imagine, it was overflowing with information, so I learned nothing and died in the first battle miserably. So if you are a fan of StarCraft and Command & Conquer, avoid it at all costs. If you like 4X games with complicated mechanics, it may be your spoon of potato salad. Maybe if you spend many hours in the game, it will become awesome. But to be honest, I don't know who the target audience is for this game. Ravenbound. As an indie game, this looks so good, it's almost too good to be true. And in some way, it is. Despite being a single-player open-world exploration RPG where you swing your sword like the most experienced witcher left and right, this game has one feature you probably wouldn't like. It's a roguelike game. Yeah, meaning that you will die and die and die, and those deaths will make you stronger. Usually in roguelike games, you are going through the same path again and again, just with all the weapons and other gear you collected before you decided to feed the worms, but this is an open world, so I wonder, can you choose to go to another direction every time? If so, that may not be such a bad thing after all. System Shock. Although the demo version has been released a few times before, maybe you have missed it. This is the full remake of the famous original System Shock from 1994, combining the old gameplay with all new HD visuals, updated controls, overhauled interface and all new sounds and music. It even has the original voice actor of Shodan, the psychotic AI who has taken control of the Citadel station and turned the crew into an army of cyborgs and mutants.
Look at you, hacker. A pathetic creature of meat and bone.
She now plans to do the same to Earth, so you must explore and battle your way through the depths of a space station gone to hell, stop AI and avert humanity's destruction. The best thing for me, a man who never played the original System Shock of 1994, was a shocking experience, pun intended, when I realized that this is not a linear shooter. You can actually decide where to go first, what areas to explore, and you will also have to make a mental map of the space station in your head, because it is huge and it's easy to get lost. Voidtrain. Another Epic exclusive that is coming to Steam. People are saying that this is a survival craft game kind of similar to The Raft. That is never a bad thing, but keep in mind that here you won't get a lot of action as it may seem from the trailer or even from the screenshots posted on Steam. I watched Markiplier playing the game and it was a nice experience. The whole idea of collecting resources around you while moving on the train is nice, but one thing kinda bothered me. You always feel like you are in a dream, everything is floating and, you know, anything can happen. And when something actually happens, you are like, okay, I guess that's cool, but that is never truly amazing. I guess that's the price of making everything so elusive. Although I love the idea of the game, I would love to travel around some post-apocalyptic landscape instead. I think there is some similar game with zombies somewhere, but it's in 2D and that's not the same for me. Anyway, Voidtrain demo is here and it's free for you to try. Raidborn. This is a first-person fantasy action RPG with highly detailed procedurally generated dungeons and quests. Here you will explore a world of treasures, upgrade your gear, level up your skills and test your might in many battles. While watching the gameplay, I really like that you can feel the impacts you are making with your melee weapon. That is a really important thing in such a game, although they have to put way more work into physics, because I can feel with my butt that gravity here doesn't work like in the real world. Sherlock Holmes, The Awakened. If you like Sherlock Holmes and Lovecraftian stuff, this may be your spoon of potato salad. Here you become Sherlock Holmes and find yourself at the heart of terrifying Cthulhu mythos as you investigate a series of mysterious disappearances in Europe and the United States. Those are apparently linked to a dark cult that worships an ancient god. Whatever their plan is, you must put a stop to it, or, you know, face unspeakable consequences. Yeah, all that sounds nice, but can I join the cult? Can I worship the ancient god as well? You know, what if Sherlock decided that his life of investigations is boring and being a servant for a Dagon himself is a more fulfilling experience? I doubt that, but it would be nice if you could actually choose the unexpected way. Thank you for watching, have a nice day and
I'll see you next time. Bye.